I want you to start by picturing a river running completely black. And I don't mean with mud, and I definitely don't mean with silt.
Just think about it for a second. What makes a river run black? Imagine staring down at a rushing current and realizing it's choked, literally choked, with dissolving ink. I mean, it sounds like a scene pulled straight out of a dark fantasy novel, doesn't it? But it's not.
The river ran black from the ink of the destroyed books for days and red from the blood of the scholars. That is a chilling, very real historical account from the year 1258. So let's unpack this. The story of that black and red river describes the absolute destruction of one of the greatest centers of learning the world has ever known. We're not just talking about a library burning down here. This single devastating act signaled the violent, abrupt end of an entire golden age.
Section 1. The world's brain, the intellectual capital of the 8th century.
So, to really understand what was lost, we gotta travel back to the 8th century, right to the heart of the powerful Abbasid Caliphate. These rulers envisioned Baghdad as literally the world's brain. And the crown jewel of that massive vision? Beit al-Hikmah, or the House of Wisdom. It was a massive translation center, a bustling research institute, and a super vibrant international academy. Sure, it started as just a private library for the caliph, but it quickly evolved into this living, breathing ecosystem. You had the brightest minds from across the known world, Arabs, Persians, Christians, Jews, all converging in Baghdad. And they were united by this singular, spectacular purpose: to gather, translate, and build upon all the world's knowledge.
I want you to use your imagination for a second. Walk the halls of this incredible place with me. Over in one corner, you'd see scholars painstakingly translating the great works of Aristotle and Plato from Greek into Arabic. They were essentially saving Greek philosophy from being lost to Europe's dark ages. In another corner, mathematicians studying Indian numerals. In fact, this is exactly where a scholar named Al-Khwarizmi wrote a book titled Al-Jabr, which, you guessed it, gave us the very word and the entire field of algebra. It's wild. This is where astronomy was totally revolutionized, where doctors were documenting precise medical procedures, and engineers were designing these incredibly ingenious mechanical devices. It was basically the world's first true international scientific research center.
Section 2. A fatal miscalculation. Why the Golden Age ended.
You see, for nearly 500 years, from its establishment by the Abbasid Caliphs in the 8th century, the House of Wisdom kept Baghdad at the absolute pinnacle of human achievement. 500 years. So what happened? Why did this golden era end? Well, the engine of progress essentially met an unstoppable force from the east. By the time we reached 1258, the relentless Mongol Empire had swept entirely across Asia. Led by Hulagu Khan, who was a grandson of the legendary Genghis Khan, this army left just a massive trail of conquered cities in its wake. And as they arrived at the gates of Baghdad, they found a city that was, unfortunately, a shadow of its former glory, deeply weakened by internal strife. And by February 10, 1258, that Mongol siege officially breached the city walls.
That year, 1258. It is a stark, almost unbelievable pivot point in human history. Because you have to remember, despite its internal weaknesses, Baghdad was still one of the richest and most culturally significant cities on the planet. Its ancient walls protected a population of nearly 1 million people. And among that million were thousands of scholars, poets, and artisans who were still thriving there.
But the ultimate cause of the city's fall really comes down to a fatal miscalculation right at the gates. It was a classic clash. On one side, you have Hulagu Khan's Mongol army. We're talking about an unstoppable force, heavily armed with advanced siege weaponry and demanding total, unconditional surrender. Then on the other side, you have Caliph al-Mustasim. Now, he was trapped between arrogance and fear. He bluntly refused to surrender because he falsely believed his centuries-old defenses were completely impregnable, and he just assumed his allies would rush in to save him. Well, they didn't.
Section 3. The end of an era. The devastation of Baghdad.
The consequences of the caliph's refusal were absolute. When those walls were breached, it sparked a week of just unimaginable horror. Magnificent mosques, palaces, and hospitals were systematically plundered and set ablaze. And right at the heart of this destruction was the House of Wisdom. The invading forces had pretty much zero regard for the knowledge contained inside, so they stormed the great library. 500 years of knowledge, all those priceless manuscripts, were either burned, literally turning to ash, or thrown directly into the Tigris River. Really try to wrap your head around the sheer scale of that cultural devastation. I mean, we know of countless texts that are referenced by surviving works, but the original manuscripts? They're simply gone. How many mathematical proofs, scientific theories, philosophical arguments, or epic poems were permanently erased from our collective human story in that single week of fire and fury? We'll honestly never know.
The before and after of this event is just staggering. Before 1258, the Middle East, and Baghdad in particular, was the undisputed global center for innovation. But after, the region was thrown into political chaos and a long period of decline. That specific, incredibly vibrant, multicultural environment of Baghdad was never recreated. The very engine of progress that had driven humanity forward was shattered, and the world's intellectual center of gravity began this slow, centuries-long shift toward Europe.
Section 4. The Enduring Spark. The Legacy of the House of Wisdom.
Now, the fall of Baghdad is definitely a chilling reminder of how fragile civilization actually is, right? Knowledge can literally be wiped out in an instant. But is this story entirely about tragedy? Actually, no, not completely. Because the House of Wisdom was such a massive hub of translation, its knowledge didn't just stay locked up behind Baghdad's walls. Long before the siege, Arabic translations of Greek classics, along with original Arab and Persian breakthroughs, had already traveled out to places like Islamic Spain and Sicily. And from there, they were translated into Latin. So later on, when European scholars began driving the Renaissance, rediscovering Aristotle or studying advanced medicine, they were very often reading texts that had been saved, studied, and expanded upon by the scholars of the House of Wisdom. It's like the torch of knowledge was passed just seconds before its original flame was snuffed out.
Which brings us to today. You might be wondering, why does an 800-year-old burned library matter to us right now? Well, it matters because the preservation of knowledge is an active, sacred responsibility. Today, modern historians, librarians, and digital archivists are working tirelessly to scan and preserve ancient manuscripts. They are the new scribes of the House of Wisdom. They're fighting every single day to ensure that a tragedy on the scale of 1258 can never, ever happen again. The Fall of Baghdad shows us, crystal clear, that knowledge is not a permanent guarantee. It depends on stability, and it depends on a society that fiercely values learning. So I want to leave you with this question to chew on. When we look at our own libraries, our universities, and our massive digital archives today, are we doing enough to protect our modern houses of wisdom? Because as history explicitly shows us, our very future depends on it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.